Hello everyone, my name is Aemiey Noor Natasha Binti Atan. Today I will present about the managing employee discipline in private versus public sector. First of all, I will start my presentation with the definition of the discipline. According to the Henerat 2017, he defined that the term discipline referred to a condition in the organization when employees conduct themselves in accordance with the organization rules and standard of acceptable behavior. It also has management action to encourage compliance with organizational standards, a form of training that enforces organizational rules. A discipline is the practice of making people obey strict rules of behavior and of punishing them when they do not obey them. So, we move to the next slide, which is why we need to manage employee discipline. It is because to develop self-control among the employees, to encourage employees to meet established rules of behavior, to protect the organization from illegal and harmful action, to protect the life of an employee from illegal and harmful action of another employee or a group of other employees, to ensure peaceful and orderly working environment organizational, of course, to achieve the goals and objectives, and lastly, to promote fairness and order in the treatment of the employees. The next slide is the examples of employee behavior rules. There are many examples of employee behavior rules. I took three main examples, which are time, behavior, and safety rules. Firstly, the time rules, which is starting and late times, quitting time, maximum break and lunch time, maximum absenteeism. Secondly is about the behavior rules. For example, sleeping, leaving workplace without permission, drinking, drug taking, and harassment. Lastly, about the safety rules, which is smoking, safety regulation, and fighting. So, we move to the next slide, which is the comparison between private and public sector employee rights. So here are the example of penalties that might be used. Firstly, oral warning, and then first written warning, final written warning, suspension without pay, demolition or downgrading, and lastly, dismissal. None of these penalties should be applied until the manager is satisfied that the worker is guilty or misconduct. But before that, the worker's wrongdoing should be checked out and if found to be true, documented and then given the opportunity to explain his or her behavior. For example, call out, explanation, issued with the written warning, or asking him or her formally show cause why disciplinary action should not be taken. All these things depends on the case, whether the case is heavy or not. So the further investigation should be taken. So this slide is about the Public Services Codes of Conduct. For introduction, disciplinary control is an important tool used to create an efficient management in executing all functions and responsibilities toward ensuring the respective department's goals and objectives are achieved. Codes of Conduct and Disciplinary Regulation. Officers in the Public Services Codes of Conduct and Discipline are regulated under the Public Officer Conduct and Discipline 1993. Such regulations include the following provision. Such regulations are regulations pertaining to codes of conduct, including specific prohibition and violation. Second, responsibilities and duties in relation to disciplinary control and supervision. Third, disciplinary procedure and code of conduct. Fourth, punishments imposed on breach of code of conduct. Fifth, provisions on related miscellaneous matter. Thus, public employers must have good cause or just cause to administer discipline to their protected employees, in determining whether good cause is present. Because public employees who are afforded this extra protection have the right to challenge discipline imposed by the employer. To sum up, disciplinary rules are necessary to set standards and make it clear to employee what conduct is and is not acceptable in workplace. Disciplinary procedures are also an essential management tool to permit manager to deal fairly and consistently with any employee who breaches the rules. Thus, it is absolutely essential that the employer adopts a fair and reasonable disciplinary system. Both of private and public sector must adopt same disciplinary system in order to manage the employee, but the public sector have an advanced protection to manage their employee.